Hey, gang. Thought I'd talk to you about the 19-day fast that we have as Baha'is. It's very similar to Lent, but a little different reason. And it starts on March 2nd and it ends on the spring vernal equinox, which I think this year is March 20th, but sometimes it's the 21st, the night of. And during this time, we're supposed to not eat or drink from sunrise to sunset. Now, there are exceptions, and of course, moderation is the rule. And so, if you are pregnant, or you're nursing, or you're traveling long distances, um, you have heavy labor, or and if you are below the age of 15 or over the age of 70, I believe, you are exempt. Or if you're sick, obviously, it's not good for anybody if you're sick. So it's a symbolic thing, but we are supposed to try to not eat and not drink. And science, I guess, is coming around to seeing that intermittent fasting is actually good for the body. And while it is good for the body, and it's also a reminder that we're spiritual beings. Now, I would assume that the next world, we're not going to have McDonald's and cheesecake. I'm really hoping we have some of that stuff, like Moe's, you know. But if we don't, then, we'll probably have different bodies which have different needs. And maybe whatever they have in there will be better than what we have here. I don't know. But we're supposed to be practicing to be spiritual beings. And it's really hard, especially, you can't take a perfectionistic attitude toward it. Nobody's perfect, and there are no fast police. So nobody's, looking. It's between you and God. And you try to detach, and we all do, from the things of this world. Like the kids that are going by right now. Kids are exempt. But there are so many things that we are attached to that have to do with eating and drinking. Crow spirit coming by. Yay, hi. He says, they're wise. They know. And God knows I could use I could use a lot less candy and cookies and cake in my life, much as I absolutely love it. At night, at sunset, you can eat what you want. Again, though, even throughout the year and throughout our lives, moderation is the way to go, the middle road. So if you go through your day and you realize how you schedule your life around food, meals, drinking, where you at, 9 o'clock in the daytime, 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock at night. Yes, mealtime at night, which we would have anyway, is, a great time to be with family and friends. But at the same time, though, do you need to be stuck to that? And as we remember, we get stuck on and off a lot of different things. Some people attach to fashion, clothing, what kind of shoes. And all that's fine in moderation. But some people really take it to the nth degree. The other thing is all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world. In a way, if you think about, gee, I'm just going to meditate, put a bubble around me, think about God, my higher power, and forget about everything else. And it might be the best rest you ever had. Sometimes to me, it is the best rest. You may not sleep, for instance. And that's another thing. Sleep. We have to sleep to a point, but we're attached to it, and we're attached to a lot of things in this world. And so again, the fast reminds us not to get attached too much to the things of this world, because tomorrow, could be gone. tomorrow. Look at things that have happened just, in the last week, the last month. People didn't have heat. They didn't have cold. Yes, we need those things. And it's not that you're supposed to fast from them, but it gives you the opportunity to think, how much am I dependent on somebody else doing this? How much am I dependent on my government, other people? Those my jacket's never flying. I got two on today. It's a little windy down here, right? It gives you pause to think of a different way of living, I guess. And for everybody, each person's different. Some people, I think of my friends, my Catholic friends at Lent, they may say they may not eat, or they may eat and pray. We're supposed to do that too. They may give up one thing or two things or three things, that mean a lot to them. And, everybody's in a different progression. So if you gave up chocolate because you really love it, like I do, yeah, that's quite the sacrifice. And there's something in that too about fasting is sacrifice. And some things, when you look at it, at first it seems like, oh my God, this is such a pain in the butt. Why do I got to do this? We're going through this horrible time. Why should I give up chocolate? Why should I give up candy? Why should I give up gossip? Oh, there's a good one. That's the thing. Those are the things that we're supposed to detach from. And that energy, getting rid of that negative energy in some things. And it's in food. It is. It's in water. Dr. Was it Emoto, I think so, showed crystals in water. So I would think if we could, clean up our act, we clean up our energy, then everything around us gets a little cleaner. Sometimes I think we're the big virus on the planet, don't you? Huh? Just take a look at the Pacific and all the crap that, we can't seem to clean up our act. This is a time of year. It's supposed to be a moderate time of the year. And I don't know if Baha'u'llah was thinking of New Hampshire and anything higher than that on the equator. Because spring does not come here all the time on March 20th. It gets pretty cold. But he picked this time, I guess, so we figured that at some point, rather than in the heat of summer, the actual, absolute dead cold of winter is not the time to be fasting, unless you want to. I mean, you can pick any time you want. But this particular time is just, it's supposed to be moderate, and today it's a little springy. It's getting a little colder, but tomorrow it's going to be 60, and, depending on inland, it's probably going to be absolutely beautiful. I was out here raking today. This is great. What else about fasting? There's something else I wanted to mention. So it's just, it's good for the body, mind, spirit. Nothing wrong with that. It's only 19 days, but you can do as long as you want, I guess. The important thing is not to get the ego involved. You can't jump up and down and say, oh, look, I fasted for, 12 and a half hours and I didn't eat a damn thing, and if that might not be a great thing to do. It's kind of like people who brag about donating money to charity, You're not supposed to let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. So nobody ever asks anybody, oh, are you fasting? Oh, except for, I won't offer you food or whatever if I know you are. But other than that, I don't really need to know. It's nobody's business how you're fasting, if you're fasting. It's between you and God. And I think we share a lot of things with the folks that fast for Lent and fast for Ramadan. There are some differences, but it's just one thing that all of us in the major religions can share. And hopefully by Nowruz, which is spring, and Nowruz is the New Year for Baha'is, you kind of cleaned up for your new year, No resolutions. I'll be glad to get out of the fast. Oh, yeah, that's it. Ego. And the mind. And feeling guilty because you don't do it right. Or feeling like, I'm sorry, I really needed, I needed some sugar. I was getting a headache, and I really wanted to go farther than that. And I know inside I can do an awful lot of stuff. And why is it that I just need a bite of brownie right now? And so you fall, you get up, you forgive yourself, ask God's forgiveness and move on. You know? Sometimes I get kind of resentful because of all the things that me, my family, have lost and gone through. Uh, it seems unfair to ask when you've been deprived of certain things. And I don't mean trivial stuff, I mean big stuff. To be asked to fast. And I can get kind of resentful. But I have to go back and forth, We all fight our devils, demons, whatever, the ego. And it's just a good thing that somewhere in there, maybe I don't realize it now, somewhere in there, the spirit does win over the body. And hopefully when something really important comes along, and we have been going through a lot of tests and trials lately, we'll be ready spiritually. If they're going to come and kick ass, so are we, and take names. Have a good fast if you're doing it. Be moderate. Thanks for listening. Lava.